Hi everyone, this is the topic of the week video, your favorite army. I'm actually going to cheat a little bit because my gaming and hobbying and collecting has been many years, over a decade now. So my very first army that I laid eyes on that I liked was Tau. Well, this is way back 10 to 13, almost 13 years ago. Friends were playing, got me into 40k, and I was like, well, these guys look cool. That was it, just coolness. I wasn't an anime fan or anything. I saw the some Fire Warrior dudes. I thought they looked pretty sweet. The battlesuit guys were cool at the time. A little blocky, a little square. If they would have been more smooth like the anime stuff, I might not have liked it as much. I thought it was a nice kind of compromise between the sleek anime, curvy, and a little more squarish practicality kind of thing. So I collected these guys for a long time when I was playing 40k. Collected a few other armies during that time. But, this was the army I always came back to. I always liked it. I liked all aspects, even the Vespid dude there, the little bug people, and their Kroot allies. I always thought it fleshed out the army quite a bit and gave you something to give you a nice kind of different stuff to paint. You could still throw in the same army, and it looked pretty cool. But then I started 40k got a little boring halfway through 5th edition with just nothing but Space Marines. And I'd also collected a Black Templars army, which might factors into my other choices in fantasy. And let's see. So when I started fantasy, I was a little torn. I wanted to go Bretonnia, but I eventually settled on the Empire. Yeah. See, in 40k, I like the Black Templars because they look like medieval knights. So then when I saw fantasy, I was like, oh, Bretonia's pretty sweet. But the biggest problem, the only reason I picked Empire was because my friend and I had split a starter box of like the 6th edition when it was Empire versus Orcs. And I actually got both, and he just took the book. Great deal for me. But, so I was just like, I guess I'll play Empire because I already got a bunch of minis for it. And which leads me to my big old Empire force. Yeah, there she is. Now, it wasn't. I didn't love it at first. The Empire. I grew to love the Empire, and even when I was collecting it, I still liked the Bretonnians. They were my first knights I actually got after, because I had the starter set, and then I bought I bought some knights, painted them up because I didn't really like those Empire knights. Because any which way you look at these dudes, they're like, they don't come out that great until you like heavily kind of you get in there and convert them and make a lot of changes, and they have to have a good paint job. If they don't, the model does not support any. It's not very forgiving in paint department. And what made me start loving about the Bretonnians, the Empire, I kind of grouped them together because I studied history, and Empire and Bretonnia are kind of this two sides of the same human people in fantasy. So like, even though Empire got like gunpowder and all that, it's like if you go back a few centuries in the Empire storyline, it's like, wow, they were more feudalistic and just like Bretonnia anyway. And then I started really getting into the collecting and the modeling part of the hobby, and that's where Empire really started to outshine Bretonnia, because Bretonnia was very select in its choices. It didn't have especially back then, a number of years ago, when there weren't that many other alternate models. You basically had Games Workshop, and then you had former Games Workshop models, like from years before, and then that was it. You could maybe find a few, character models here and there that were a little different you could buy. So when I started looking at the variety, I mean, you could collect all these old dudes here getting in there. You can mix the new ones with the old. That was cool. Flagellants here. I got the old guys in the back. I mean, the new guys in the back, and these are some of the Mordheim guys you could grab. And a lot of kit bashing. Empire lent itself to a lot of kit bashing, which was really nice. And with the kit bashing, you can really get customization. These are what I call the Wissenlin long coats. They're all made from the Archer kit. Well, the bodies are from the Archer kit, I should say, and the rest are from a whole bunch of other stuff. I think I've shown these before. But this is the actual Archer kit, where I use most of the parts. And that's the nice thing about Empires. You got Archers. You got more Archers from a different kit. You can even use Bretonnian Archers if you really want it. I've seen people do that before. And so it lends itself a lot. And then later on, when Games Workshop started getting better at making kits, that's when they really started to shine. One of my favorite kits the Empire's Games Workshop has ever made is the Pistolier kit. You get so many bits, so many. I mean, the head bits, the cloaks, the arms. I mean, it's kit bashing dream. It really is. And I use these the Pistoliers as a base for converting tons of stuff. I mean, my Thunderwolf cavalry here. The bodies for the knights on top are the Pistolier bodies. And when I went and converted up these heavier knights, because those old ones really suck, I used the bodies there from Pistoliers. I got the extra heads from the Demigriffin sets, and the horses. I had to really get those ones from eBay. Really hunt those down. Everybody wanted them. And yeah, that's what I really liked about Empire. It really started to shine that way. And when I was getting in, another part of it is all the variety it is, but also the variety in the fluff. Bretonnia wasn't supported enough. It had its book for 10, it was going on 8, 9, 10, 11 years without a new book. And very few stories about it written. I think they had one, the Red Duke, that was it. A little, and then when the Vampire Counts came out, they got a little blurb about the Musolian faction. And that's actually Vampire Counts, not quite Bretonnian. So, you get all that. And so the fluff part really lends itself. Like I said before, you can start customizing your units with different factions. You get Demigriffins, you get Thunderwolves, Great Swords. I mean, you get the Teutonic Guard, right? A couple different religions you can kind of focus your army around. So much customization and the fluff. You can write so much background stories for everything. All these old dudes, right? That's what makes it really. That's kind of those two things: the customizable kits and the fluff. Basically, all support. So my new love is Empire and Bretonnia together. That's kind of my new love. It's the army I like quite a bit, and those are my reasons for it. See you around.